Hello. Now let's talk about this judge out of Connecticut. Now, if you live in Connecticut, I would like to hear from people that live in Connecticut because this is your tax money, and I wonder what you think about this. It is your tax money, and when you get up and go to work each and every day, you are paying taxes. Money is being taken out of your check now and paying these judges' salary when they are supposed to be doing bench work. Now, a Connecticut Supreme Court orders investigation into judge who collected $400,000 salary during a 2-year absence from the bench. And it says that the Connecticut's highest court issued an order Tuesday that opened an official investigation of a judge who was absent from the bench for 2 years, but still collected a salary of more than $400,000. Now, let me stop right there for a moment. First of all, that's a lot of money. Even with minus taxes, that's still a lot of money for a judge to be voted in on a bench. Whenever this judge, Alice Bruno, that was confirmed, and she was confirmed actually in 2016, okay? And she has not done any work for 2 years. When she last took the bench in November of 2019, it was two, and I'm saying not, the 2 years that she stayed at home and didn't do anything. She's collecting this money. You all are paying taxes in Connecticut. So therefore, now they have to do an investigation to find out why she was not at work, not on the bench, but was still collecting a regular salary. Now, why would she collect a regular salary when she should have been collecting what? Maybe state disability. Who knows? But however, she should not be have been collecting a regular salary when she wasn't doing any work. And so I don't live in Connecticut, but still, this is something that for the Connecticut, you know, people there, I would want to know and be outraged that the fact is I'm getting up, going to work, paying the salary of the judges, paying taxes, and therefore she's not doing a darn thing, not showing up to work. And she should have filed appropriate paperwork, took an FMLA or whatever, to make sure that she was protected. But that regular salary should not have happened for 2 years. Now, if she had vacation, paid leave, or sick time, okay, maybe that's the case. However, they're doing an investigation because something is amiss. So, Alice Bruno was confirmed as a judge of the Connecticut Superior Court in February of 2016. But after serving for 3.5 years, she stopped showing up at work. Now, listen to this, you all. If you stop showing up for work, what's going to happen to you? You are going to be terminated. You are going to be given the axe. You will not have a job if you stop showing up at work, and nor will you get a salary even after you stop showing up. But however, she stopped showing up to work and last took the bench in November 2019, according to court documents. Since that time, Judge Bruno continued to collect her full salary, but consistently refused to come into work, the court documents say. Now, what do you think about that? Should she be held accountable? Should she be held criminally accountable, like charged for refusing to come to work but still collecting a salary? Somebody in payroll and in HR dropped the ball, okay? So Bruno cited a debilitating medical condition for her absence, but has refused to elaborate. Okay, so why didn't you take a leave of absence, sick time, or why didn't you file for disability? Okay, so in various documents submitted to the court in her defense, Bruno said that her bosses were hostile toward her and her request for accommodations, and that their hostility exasperated her already serious medical condition. Well, why didn't you file a claim with the ADA? And I'm sure that, in some cases, they also have an ADA department that you can go to, and they will open up an investigation on their own. Okay, so Bruno's medical records remain sealed per an order by the court, but a newly appointed investigator will soon have access to those and other records. Stop right here for a moment because if they can, you know, if they can get medical records open, that are sealed to see what's going on, even though, they will still remain private to the public, but they will be able to be shared with who needs those. That's what needs to happen with these other cases where these women are sitting up here saying, all this other bafoulet stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, their records should be shared as well. Okay. And after 2 years passed with Bruno absent from the bench, the Connecticut Supreme Court ordered Bruno to appear in person and answer why she should not be removed or suspended. She should be removed. If she is committing a crime by knowing that she's taking money, accepting a paycheck without filing the appropriate documents and going through the process and refusing to return to work, she should be removed. It almost seems this is beyond suspension. But if they didn't never address the issue with her in writing, then they probably can't remove her yet. They have to suspend her if that's the case. So anyway, the unprecedented proceedings aim to ascertain whether Bruno's conduct violated Connecticut's Code of Judicial Conduct. Well, in my opinion, yes, it did. Because you are refusing to come back to work and still getting a check and saying that your bosses was hostile to you and they created more of a problem for you. Okay, so you should have filed the right stuff. You should have went through the right process in order to hold those people accountable if that is the case, okay, allegedly. So even in responding to the Supreme Court's order, however, Bruno tried her best to stay away from the courthouse. Yes, because she was at home collecting a salary. Would you show up if you still collecting your salary and you can get away with it? Why would you need to make any effort to be part of the courthouse, to be even on the steps or even around it or even just driving around it? They might have a coffee shop. She just loved to get coffee and donuts from or bagels. But guess what? She didn't need to go there. She tried her best to stay away from that coffee and donuts that she loved so much at the court. Ha ha. Okay. But anyway, I'm just joking. But anyway, on April 4th, 2022, the day before a hearing was scheduled in the matter, Bruno's attorney filed a motion to excuse Bruno's personal appearance. You know, Bruno, look, Miss Alice Bruno, you need to show up, sister. This is people's tax dollars that you are getting. You're collecting and you playing around. Sister, show up. Okay, so through counsel, Bruno argued that she once again required emergency medical treatment arising from the circumstances surrounding her request for accommodation that has been ongoing for nearly 2 years. You know what? But still, you cannot sit here and collect a regular salary and you are not working. That is just unheard of. But this is what she's doing. And you know what? You need to go through the process. I'm not against you filing for disability, taking sick time, or whatever you need to do, but you need to do what's right by the people for the people. Now, the court denied Bruno's request to absent her from the hearing, but allowed that Bruno's attorney be permitted to assist his client in answering questions at the proceeding. During the hearing, Justice Andrew J. McDonald made the following appointed inquiry of Bruno's attorney. Jacques Parenteau, you've indicated that over the last 2+ years, Judge Bruno has not performed any services on behalf of the people of Connecticut in exchange for the $400,000 she has received. I told y'all she can't do it, y'all. Not you all. Okay, let me stop with that. But I told you all. Okay, so is that correct? Parenteau responded that the pay received by his client, by his client. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but by his client amounted to an accommodation for her medical need. But there is a process, there is a system, and we cannot go along with that nonsense. And right here, what I was saying is that yes, she has not performed any service on behalf of the people of Connecticut in exchange for the money that she has received. Absolutely. Okay, that's what I was saying. And so when Bruno addressed the court, she said that the suggestion that her supervisors suggested that she should seek a disability retirement. Yes, she should have. And she is wrong to sit here and think that just because it was daunting and a devastating experience doesn't mean that she should not have followed the law. That absolutely. And so therefore, if they suggested that, and they can make her, but they have a right to suggest that as her supervisor. Well, may we suggest, if you're not able to work, there are some other options for you. Disability retirement. But collecting this kind of money, not showing up on the bench, really sounds to me, and I could be wrong, some criminal charges should be filed. Now, Bruno continues saying, and the unfortunate circumstance is that I ended up with all the indicia of someone who could not perform my function in the way that it should best be performed. I thank you for your courtesy and giving me the chance to talk and speak, and there is nothing I want more than to serve the people of Connecticut fairly and appropriately. Well, maybe they need to make you pay that money back for the 2 years that you have collected it. Because you know what? If you're not able to serve, then we have to make a decision. No matter how daunting and dark it may seem, we still have to make a decision. Okay? No matter how scary it seems, we cannot misuse the taxpayers' money. And this is what she was doing, not doing her job and collecting a $400,000 salary. And somewhere in HR, they dropped the ball. Okay? Now, the state high court issued its ruling Tuesday. Under that ruling, Bruno must now cooperate with the investigation or risk further disciplinary proceedings per the court's 3-page order. And maybe she might be disbarred for stealing, because to me, that's like stealing money. We would not be able to get away with that. So specifically, the purpose of the investigation was to obtain information relevant to determine whether Judge Bruno's conduct in connection with her performance of or failure to perform judicial functions since her appointment as a Superior Court judge in 2015 violates inter alia Rule 1.2, promoting confidence in the judiciary. 2.1, giving precedence to the duties of judicial office or precedence. Okay? And 2.5, competence, diligence, and cooperation of the Code of Judicial Conduct. The investigation will be confidential. Now, this article is not confidential, but the investigation should. Now, the court appointed Connecticut Deputy Chief State's Attorney and Inspector General Robert Devlin to conduct the investigation and directed Bruno to fully and promptly cooperate with Devlin's investigatory demands. Further, if Devlin, deems it necessary, Bruno must submit to one or more medical evaluations. Devlin will also have access to Bruno's medical records, though he is expected to keep those records confidential. Counsel for Judge Bruno did not immediately respond to Law and Crime's request for comment. Now, why would they respond when it's not in their favor? But you know what, taxpayers in Connecticut? You ought to speak up and write some letters, because you're the ones that are paying taxes. And for this woman, this judge, no disrespect to her, however, for her to sit on the bench because she's a woman, first title is what it is. But however, there is no reason why she should be getting away with taxpayers' money not doing her job. And so, with that being said, leave your respectful comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So thank you again for tuning in. I do appreciate you all. And so if you, again, live in Connecticut, please leave your comments below. And even if you don't live in Connecticut, I love to hear of what you have to say about this, because this could be something that happens in your own state. You know, we a lot of times we read articles or we just say, oh, I'm not interested in that. But we have to start holding people accountable in these judicial systems, just like they will hold us accountable or hold others accountable. And also, when it comes to money like this is a big salary. For 2 years, this woman has received $400,000 a year, $800,000 for 2 years, and yeah, minus taxes, but there's still big money to be, paid to her for her those 2 years for her to not show up to work. So we the people, by the people, yes, they need to do the investigation, and she hopefully, she will do what's right, but she may have to pay that money back. What do you guys think? Talk to you soon. Bye.